All right, Shalom. Shalom, Israel. This is the brother of Warba coming back to you again with another quick lesson. Before I kick it off, I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to you, Akim, that are out there doing this work in truth and sincerity. All right, I'm out here on my lunch break, so make this a quick lesson. But what I wanted to kind of go into today is just the topic of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans who are Israelites. Just going into the great division between the northern and the southern kingdom. Because if you think about it, you can see it on different levels. You can look at it on a worldly aspect, and you can also look at it from a spiritual aspect. And so today, what I'm going to be trying to do, Lord willing, through the Spirit, I'm just going to go through it, talk about a little bit of the history on it, and show you some examples throughout the scriptures of why it does exist. Because you'll have so-called, Latinos or Hispanics that don't like, so-called, Negroes, the Southern Kingdom, and so it's been like that ever since the beginning. Well, leading into the division of the kingdom, where it was taken from King Solomon and divided into two different tribes. So today, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into that all through the Spirit, Lord willing. So we're gonna get some scriptures. All right, and the first scripture that I'm gonna pull for this one is gonna be in 1 Kings, the 11th chapter, and I'm gonna start at the 26th verse. Because basically, before I even go into that one, if I start up at 1, it talks about how King Solomon went off, and how he went off is by loving strange women, as verse 1 says. Okay, so basically he went off, and the Most High actually said that he was going to strip him of the kingdom and give it to someone else. All right, so let's get to the point. We're going to get to verse 26. Okay, and it says, "And Jeroboam the son of Nebat, an Ephrathite of Zerida, Solomon's servant, whose mother's name was Zerah, was a widow woman. Even he lifted up his hand against the king." Even he lifted up his hand against the king. Okay, and so Jeroboam was of the northern kingdom. Okay, and so we're going to prove that a little later on in the scriptures. And it says, "And this was the cause that he lifted up his hand against the king, King Solomon." Okay, "But Milo, and repaired the breaches of the city of David his father. And the man Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor. And Solomon, seeing the young man that he was industrious, and he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph." So the house of Joseph, as you know it, is the northern kingdom. Ephraim. Okay, Ephraim, Manasseh, the northern kingdom, basically. So he made him ruler, king over Israel. All right, so we're going to keep moving. Verse 29, and it says, "And it came to pass at that time, when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem, that the prophet Ahijah, that the Shilonite, found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment, and they were two alone in the field." Okay, so this is going to be a spiritual layout. So we're going to continue. "And Ahijah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it into 12 pieces." Okay, which represents the 12 tribes. "And he said to Jeroboam, Take thee 10 pieces, for thus said Yahweh, the God of Israel, Behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee." All right, so those 10 tribes are going to be the 10 tribes of the northern kingdom, okay, minus Judah and Benjamin and Levi at that time, one half of the Levites, because technically at that time the Levites weren't really, basic. They were over both of the tribes. They lived amongst both of them. Okay, so one half of them went with the northern kingdom, and the other half went with the southern kingdom, because they were the priests. All right, so we're going to keep moving. Verse 32, he said, "But he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake." And he's talking about King Solomon, that he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake, and for the Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all tribes of Israel. which is the kingdom of Judah. Okay, because as you know, that had to be done because as the prophecies say, the Lord Yahushua was going to spring up out of the tribe of Judah. Okay, so let's continue. This is going to be verse 33. Because they that have forsaken me have worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess of Zidonians, Chemosh, the god of Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways to do that which is right in mine eyes, and to keep my statutes and my judgments, as did David his father. Right, so that's how King Solomon went off, of course, by, popping other women, the other nations' women that weren't of Israel. Now, just keep in mind, we're not saying that you cannot deal with these women, okay? Because that's not the sin. The sin is going and whoring after other gods, okay? So you will have some people or some camps or groups that will teach against that, but in reality, you know what I'm saying? They're not teaching the true reason why that's why that took place, okay? So let's keep moving. All right, we're going to jump down. 34. Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him a prince all the days of his life for David, my servant's sake, whom I chose because he kept my commandments and my statutes. So basically, the Lord is saying, look, I'm going to let you rule. I'm going to let King Solomon, I'm going to let you rule, and I'm not going to kill you. So as long as you live, I'm going to let you still be king. But when you die, I'm going to take it from your sons. Okay? So that's 35. It says, but I will take the kingdom out of his son's hand and will give it unto thee, even 10 tribes. Okay, so verse 36, and it says, unto his son will I give one tribe, that David my servant may have a light always before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen to put my name there. And I will take thee, and thou shalt reign according to all thy soul desireth, and shall be king over Israel. Okay, so he's telling Jeroboam that he's going to give him 10 tribes out of the 12, but he's going to leave Solomon and Solomon's son the kingdom of Judah. All right, so that is telling you right then and there is the divide right there. Okay, this is just a little bit of the history. I'm going to keep going, and then I'm going to jump down to 43 here in a second. All right, so I'm at 38, and it says, and it shall be, if thou wilt hearken unto all that I command thee, and will walk in my ways, and do that is right in my sight, to keep my commandments and my statutes and my commandments, as David my servant did, that I will be with thee, and build thee a sure house, as I built for David, and give Israel unto thee, and I will for this afflict the seed of David, but not forever. All right, so now we're going to jump down to verse 43, and it says, and Solomon slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David, his fathers, basically meaning King Solomon died. Okay, and Rehoboam his son reigned in his stead. All right, so let's look at this. You got Jeroboam, okay, Jeroboam, who is now the king of the northern kingdom, okay, of the northern tribes, and now you have King Solomon's son Rehoboam, who is now the leader or the king of Judah. All right, so now we're going to go into a little bit more history of how we figured out how the rip happened, the great divide happened, and now we're going to see why there's this beef between the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, because you got certain tribes that that think they're better than others, and you got other situations to where Jake may feel some type of way, primarily the southern kingdom, they feel some type of way about the northern kingdom. That's why you have all these different gangs and all these other things, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so we're going to go into the next chapter, and we're going to start at the 12th verse to get some understanding on it. Okay, and now you're going to see that there was beefs all the way back in the beginning, man. These people, they were whole ass niggas that was in Israel that were, treating each other, very wrong, man. And in this society, we can't be doing that, man. We are all Israelites. And, and all through the Spirit, hopefully this lesson, we're going to prove that, what the Lord says on that. Okay. And how to treat each other. Salakia, but loose, not to digress. Let's continue. This is 1 Kings chapter 12. And I'm going to start at the 12th verse. So it says, so Jeroboam, okay, the king of the north, and all of the people came to Rehoboam the third day, as the king had appointed, saying, come to me again the third day. And the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old men's counsel that they gave him, and spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, my father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So basically, the king of Judah was just like, hey, well, listen, my daddy did stuff to y'all, so I'm going to make it even worse. You know what I'm saying? And so basically, the king of the north was like, oh, nah, we ain't finna deal with this. We going to go do our own thing. Okay? Verse 15, wherefore the king hearkened not unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord, that he might perform his saying which the Lord spake by Ahiah the Shilonite unto Jeroboam the son of Nebat. Okay, so when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, he didn't listen to the people. The people answered the king, saying, what portion have we in David? Neither have we an inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel. Now see to thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents. But as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. All right. So for the kingdom where the people in Judah live, Rehoboam, he reigned over them, as well as the king that, for the people that lived otherwise, Jeroboam, he reigned over them. Okay, verse 18. Then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones. So basically, he sent them over there to try to tax the northern kingdom. Told them, nah, look, man, y'all gonna pay tribute unto me. You know what I'm saying? I'm the king over Jerusalem. Y'all gonna pay tribute unto me. He basically trying to rule over everything and tax them, right? So basically what happened was they sent the person out there to go collect the money, and they stoned him to death. He's like, the kingdom of the northern tribe was like, you really think we're gonna pay you, man? Like, you serious about this? And so Jake stoned this guy. All right. So Israel, Salakia. In verse 18, so then King Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones, that he died. Therefore King Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. Yeah, he got up out of that bad boy. That was something that was wicked in the sight. That was a very wicked thing, and you'll find Jake doing that to this day, man. Trying to get over on other Jake, trying to tax him, or trying to that's a type of form of usury. Okay, and you'll see that throughout all types of things, man. Just with dealing with Jake in the world, or in some cases, if you're dealing with wicked dudes that have crept in unawares into these camps, man, you'll see them. That's a wicked act, man. You're supposed to love your brother as you love yourself. All right, verse 19. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. Okay, so that's where that beef is coming from. You got the so-called Hispanics and the Native Americans that got beef with, brothers from the Southern Kingdom, the so-called Negroes and the West Indians. That's why, like I was saying before, you got gangs, you got situations like that going on, and then you got sectors of people that are in this truth too, that teach that the so-called Hispanics and the Native Americans aren't Israelites, man. They don't want to include them. And we know that's utterly, going off, and we're going to prove that throughout the scriptures, Lord willing. Okay. So, I got some more on this one. So it's verse 20. And it says, and it came to pass when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and they called him unto the congregation and made him king over all Israel. Okay, that there was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only. So at that time, when that happened, they made Jeroboam king over everybody, over all of the tribes except for the house of Judah. So Benjamin and Levi. Okay, so nobody followed the king of David or the house of David at that time, except for those that lived in that area. Verse 21. And when Rehoboam was come to the Jerusalem, he assembled all the houses, the house of Judah, with the tribe of Benjamin, and 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam the son of Solomon. So he was like, hey, what's up with it? Let's go handle these guys, man. They're gonna try to tax us, and they were talking all that noise and that yin yang. Let's fight. So they was ready to squab. Okay, verse 21. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, and 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam the son of Solomon. But the word of the Lord came unto Shemaiah, the man of God, saying, Speak unto Rehoboam the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and unto all the house of Judah and Benjamin, and to the remnant of the people, saying, Thus say Yahweh your God, that ye shall not go up nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Okay, so the Lord told you, don't fight amongst each other. And that's a order, man. That's a commandment. Still to this day, man. Do not go up and fight against your brothers, man, because they are your brothers. Okay? They're your brothers. And I'm going to continue. It says, Return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearken therefore to the word of the Lord, and return to depart, according to the word of Yahweh. Okay? So yeah, man, the Lord had to step in the middle of it and tell them, listen, we're all one, man. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you are Israelites. You are all Israelites, okay? So even right now, man, even when you're in this truth, man, you're not supposed to fight against your brothers, man. You're not supposed to fight against the northern kingdom, or if you're a from the northern tribe, you ain't supposed to fight against the southern tribe, man. That's ultimately what, Esau wants us to do, so-called white man, okay, and these other nations. They wanted to pull that whole divide and conquer tactic, man. Okay? And you still got boneheaded Negroes that out there that won't accept the fact that they won't accept the fact that the Hispanics and the Native Americans are Israelites, man. Simpletons. Okay? Yeah, man. And ultimately what it is it goes back to a curse, man. From the beginning, because everybody was going off and whoring after other gods and doing stupid stuff, man. And it's a curse, man. It goes back to that curse that the Lord put on us in Deuteronomy, man, the 28th chapter, in the 15th verse. I'll start there, and then I'll pull another precept to back up my point. And it says, But it shall come to pass that if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. All right, and I'm going to jump to the 54th verse on this. And it says, So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother. And that's right, man. Right now, you so-called Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans, man, y'all's eyes are evil towards one another, man. You'll see a so-called Negro, square up with a so-called, Latino brother. You know what I'm saying? They'll look at each other a certain type of way and be ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? They'll be ready to throw down over something simple, over nonsense, man. Okay? Um, I'll continue. And it says, and his eyes shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. Yeah, man. You know, you're not supposed to be fighting amongst each other, man. Point blank, period. Okay? But the whole objective of this lesson is just to show you that it's deeper. That is deeper than what most people believe. This has been going on since the beginning, man. You know, there's been a rift or a divide just in in the nations because of differences, man. All right. And then I got Zechariah, the 11th chapter, in the 14th verse. And utterly what this is all going back to is it's basically going back to us going off, man. You know, and not keeping the commandments of the Heavenly Father. And so the Lord did this to us. Okay. This is Zechariah chapter 11. Verse 14, and it says, then I cut asunder mine other staff, even bands, that I may break the brotherhood between Judah and Israel. Okay, so you see what I'm saying? He broke the brotherhood between us, man, and caused a rift between us because we were going off. We wanted to go worship other gods and do our own thing. So not only that, he put us into captivity. You know, and then some people like to go back and say that the Native Americans aren't Israelites because they had the so-called Negro in slavery back in the day. You know, but there's an account in Second Chronicles where it talks about how the Native or the so-called Northern Kingdom had the Southern Kingdom in slavery. You know what I'm saying? Hella going off. You know, so just like it says in Ecclesiastes, man, where it tells you that the things that happened before are, you know, they're happening now. There's no new thing under the sun, man. Okay? Exactly, man. And so, but the one thing that is going to happen, though, is that, you know, according to the prophecies, that the Lord is going to bring us back together, man, and we're going to be one nation again. We're going to be all 12 tribes. It's not going to be a southern kingdom. It's not going to be a northern kingdom anymore. We're just going to be the nation of Israel, okay? And how do we know that? Through prophecy, okay? And this is what I'm going to end with on this one. I don't want to make this one too long. Plus, my break is about to be up. So, all right, and I'm going to end with this one. I'm going to go to Isaiah. Slakia, brothers. Isaiah, the 11th chapter, and the 13th verse. Okay, actually, I'm gonna start up at 12, and it says, and he shall set up an ensign for the nations, set up a sign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel. Okay, and gather together the dispersed of Judah, meaning the southern kingdom, from the four corners of the earth. The envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversaries of Judah shall be cut off. So yeah, the envy of Ephraim is not, the northern kingdom is not going to envy the southern kingdom anymore, man. And the southern kingdom, we ain't going to vex, what do you call it? Or I'll just read it. Verse 13, the envy also of Ephraim shall depart, and the adversary of Judah shall be cut off. Ephraim shall not envy Judah, and Judah shall not vex Ephraim. Okay? So we ain't gonna be at each other's throats no more, man. You know, we're finally gonna accept the fact that we are truly brothers, man. People that are actually waking up to this truth, that are in the know, we know that we're brothers. You know what I'm saying? We know that we're brothers. People that are actually following the law, statutes, and commandments, and have the true spirit, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that comes from, you know, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. You know, they understand these things, man. Okay? That's right. Okay, and I'm going to continue to go forward. And it says, they shall fly upon the shoulders of the... well, that's basically the point on that one. But yeah, man, you know, we're actually two nations, man. We're going to be one nation again. So if we're two nations, how in the world can all of the tribes be black? Simpletons, man. You know what I'm saying? And even the scriptures tells you that, you know, our heritage is likened unto a speckled bird, man. So we're gonna have all different types of, you know, pigmentation, especially since we were scattered amongst all the other nations, man. You think Jake is just gonna continuously just be one color? Absolutely not, man. You know. So with that, man, I mean, that's pretty much all I had. I just wanted to go into that a little bit, talk about that one, that topic. I hope this lesson was edifying. And with that one, I'm going to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to you brothers that are out there doing this work in truth and sincerity. And with that, I'm going to say shalom.